Few weeks after several Arab states accused Qatar of supporting terrorism. They severed ties with Doha, and now the US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is in the region hoping to ease tensions. Qatar denies wrongdoing, and it rejected a list of demands by Saudi Arabia and 3 other states, which is now void. Now here's Rex Tillerson on that memorandum.
The memorandum lays out a series of steps the two countries will take over the coming months and years to interrupt and disable terror financing flows and intensify counter-terrorism activities globally. Together, the United States and Qatar will do more to track down funding sources, will do more to collaborate and share information, and will do more to keep the region and our homeland safe.
Some analysis now from our international affairs commentator, Doug Herbert. Doug, what's the significance of what was just signed in Doha?
Well, look, let's boil it down. What do? You're the U.S. Secretary of State. You're on this sort of semi-mission impossible to resolve a crisis which has been ongoing for over a month among Gulf allies that at this point show absolutely no signs of really backing down in the overall dispute that they've been locked in for over a month now, with the accusations flying back and forth. You fund terrorism. No, you fund terrorism. And it's gotten nowhere. And as the State Department has said, it could take weeks or months to resolve. So what do? You're Rex Tillerson. You've been sent by your president on a mission, resolve this crisis. You do little measures. You go in through the back door. And what you do is this agreement does not, as the Qatari foreign minister, who he was standing there with in Doha, pointed out, doesn't have anything to do with resolving the broader crisis. What it is it is a two-way agreement, a bilateral agreement between the United States and Qatar, and only between them, in which Qatar basically pledges to do what? 2 significant things: combat terrorism and combat the sources of funding terrorism. And here's where that becomes significant, because what is Saudi Arabia and its Gulf neighbor allies, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, what are they accusing Qatar of? Basically funding terrorism and not combating terrorism and actually abetting terrorist groups. So here you have the U.S. basically coming in, signing this little deal with Qatar, which is exactly doing what the Saudis are accusing Qatar of not doing. So the Qatar is pledging with the U.S. to do what the Saudis say it isn't doing. Now, does that resolve the bigger crisis? Obviously, it doesn't, Claire. But what it does do is it ramps up a little bit of the pressure right now on the Saudis, on its allies, because now it's the ball's in their court. Now they are going to presumably either have to sign a similar agreement, and if not, explain why. So it's getting the little nuts and bolts there in place to perhaps break a broader impasse. And he tried to frame this as something Donald Trump has expressed a desire. He wants to rid the earth of terrorism, and this agreement is a little part of that broader mission.
So does the deal suggest that Donald Trump is no longer taking sides?
What it suggests is that at least they are trying now, and Rex Tillerson, broadly speaking, and he cited Donald Trump right at the outset of this agreement as being part of Donald Trump's, as I just said, his sort of remit to him to make sure that all of these Gulf allies are on board doing the same thing, which is what we all need to be doing, which is fighting terrorism. So there were missteps, well, maybe that's a euphemism, but missteps at best in the beginning by the White House, and notably by Donald Trump, when he was lavishing praise on the Saudis, going to Riyadh, standing there with the king around that mysterious cryptic globe, all of this, where people said, why is he cozying up so much to the Saudis here? Putting a lot of a spring in the Saudis' step, making the Saudis think, oh, we have the president of the U.S. on our side. We can do whatever we want right now, perhaps. What this is probably doing is sending the message, is trying to level that playing field again, saying, if you think the president of the United States favors the Saudis over you or favors one side or the other, no. I'm here to tell you we all are here on the same mission, that is to fight terrorism. Hey, and look Saudi, look Bahrain, look UAE, look Egypt, look what we've just done with Qatar. They're saying they'll fight the terrorists. Will you?
All right, thank you very much indeed, Doug. Douglas Herbert, our international affairs commentator.